Innavedr by Imploding: Dig a Pony. It was a series of deep, slumbering breaths that woke him, as if a fitful dragon was gargling in the same room. His lavender ear switched, and soon his petite body stirred as he stifled a heated whimper. Groaning, Eagle Eye sat up, his slender hooves scraping over a flat black floor of industrial-grade metal. He squinted across the claustrophobic room. Several other equine bodies were lying about in pairs, stirring fitfully under the crimson glow of a single grated light overhead. It was stuffy and cramped inside the square interior, and the place smelled of sweat and feces. Eagle Eye gazed around, blinking. He saw bruised and battered bodies, ponies with their hooves worn into blistered limbs, even a few emaciated stallions murmuring incoherent madness into the shadows. Everything that graced his senses was laced with misery and suffering, as if each living thing inside that chamber was simply waiting for its turn to die. The lavender unicorn blinked at the desolation, turned his head, and instantly gasped, "My mane!" He raised two weak limbs and felt the frazzled bangs hanging loosely from his scalp, splotched in several spots, dried with mud and chunks of sapphire crystal. "Oh!" He bit his lip, sighing heavily through his nostrils. It was then that he noticed something wrapped around his right hoof. Squinting, he studied the object up close. It was a titanium cuff, a manacle of sorts, and it hung snugly, just below the elbow. What's more, it constantly glowed with purple effluence. Licking his lips, Eagle Eye aimed his horn and shot half a bolt of lavender energy into the cuff. In response, it shot a magic bolt right straight back into his skull, knocking him back onto his flank. "Ooh!" He winced, his eyes tearing up. "Okay, that's not getting off so easily." He fidgeted a little bit more with the binding, then froze in place. His ears drooped, and a gasp escaped his lips as a brightness swam over his eyes with a horrifically lucid thought. "By the spark! Bell! Pilat!" He jumped up on all fours, upsetting several of the half-sleeping stallions around him. "Rainbow Dash!" Hyperventilating, he spun in place, then finally found his eyes locking onto a tall, vertical seam of metal. A heavy door hung on the far end of the room. "Hello?" he exclaimed. "Hello! Is any pony out there?" Straightening his torn vest, he ran speedily towards the frame. "You gotta let me out! My friends are in His entire body sparkled with purple energy. He gave a high-pitched shriek as the manacle around his right leg pulsed brightly, flinging him back by an elastic band of artificial ley lines. In less than a second, he was flung straight into the body of an obese stallion, wearing a matching strobing manacle on his left forelimb. "Ooh!" Eagle Eye winced all over as he slammed hard into the bigger unicorn's muzzle. The stallion's nostrils flared, getting a good whiff of the petite mercenary's mane. Joshua's bearded face smiled as the unconscious enforcer rolled over and hugged Eagle Eye tight. "Straight lace, darling." He nuzzled Eagle Eye's soft neck, purring. "I've been on that front for so long." Eagle Eye grimaced and sweated profusely. Just then, his bleary eyes opened. Eagle Eye spat up the tiniest bit of bile. "Ah!" Eagle Eye flailed. "Ah!" Joshua flung Eagle Eye out of his grasp. "Ah!" The lavender unicorn flew back, only to be caught once more in the artificial field which flung him straight back into the burly stallion like a living yo-yo. "Ah!" Joshua stood up, this time bucking Eagle Eye away with two legs. "Get off me, you lavender slice of slug meat." "You were in league with..." Eagle Eye scooted away, only to bounce back from this field and scoot away again. You
You were in league with...
The wide-eyed unicorn's body and voice repeated like a broken record.
You were in league...
Friggin' cut it out.
Joshua stopped him this time with a single, fat forelimb pressed to the shivering stallion's face. He stood up, taking a grim survey of the setting.
Obviously, we're here being held captive by some ponies proficient in the art of mana elastobands.
Eagle Eye raised both hooves and shoved Joshua's hoof out of his face.
Mana elasta what's?
They're used by non-unicorns to form an equine chain gangs.
It's technology that revolves around the self-conductive crystalline fragments. Joshua hiccuped and glared at the petite unicorn.
For spark's sake, kid, how long have you been a mercenary?
Eagle Eye scowled, slapping Joshua's hoof away and struggling to stand up straight.
Like I would ever want to be graded by a merciless killer like you.
Listen, you hyperactive bottle of perfume.
Joshua snarled and pointed at himself.
I've only ever been in the business of killing zonins and monstrous freaks. You should be glad that some pony under the glare of that prime enforcing snake in the grass had the stones not to bash your skull in while he was commanded to. Oh, you're welcome, by the way, you little turdlip.
Well, you shouldn't have been working for him from the get-go,
Eagle Eye squeaked.
Like I'm gonna take sass from a would-be soldier who sounds like a deflated balloon.
I'll deflate your balloon. Come here!
Eagle Eye charged forth angrily, galloping and galloping and galloping, and Joshua sighed, holding the red-faced mercenary in place, once again with a single hoof. His bloodshot eyes swam across the stuffy metal interior of the place.
Let's at least figure out where the Queen's shimmering teeth we got here. I know how you teleported us, but I don't remember being able to shoot myself that far.
Why didn't you do it earlier, huh?
Eagle Eye gripped his limb and all but climbed it like a log on the edge of a furious river.
Why didn't you get my friends out of there before that crazy lunatic of an enforcer turned them into mincemeat? Why didn't you save Rainbow Dash? Or...
He froze in place, panting. Softly, his features melted. His eyes took on a painted angle.
Or Crimson,
he mewed like a wounded kitten. He slid off Joshua's forelimb and squatted low, gazing into the rusted floor beneath him.
Spark, help me! I should have fought harder. I should have been stronger.
Joshua opened his mouth to say something, but instead he sighed, staring off towards the metal seam of the door. Then, after a few seconds of weathering the beleaguered breaths of Eagle Eye, he blinked with a piercing thought. He glanced down at the unicorn.
Wait a minute. It was you! You were the one who severed it.
Eagle Eye sniffled, running a hoof through his disheveled violet mane.
Severed what?
My ley line entanglement space burp thingy. I don't know. I'm not a clever pony.
Eagle Eye muttered aside.
That much is certain.
Look here. I'm serious here. Straight as a razor.
Eagle Eye deliriously chuckled.
That much is certain too.
Joshua knelt down and gripped the petite mercenary's shoulders.
Will you shut up for a second and listen? I know you were the one who freed the zebra's mataballs, or whatever, from my ley lines.
Yeah? So?
So? You're obviously gifted.
Joshua grimaced as he narrowed his gaze on Eagle Eye's scrawny figure.
Somehow.
He cleared his throat and managed a weak smile.
So, maybe you can use that snazzy talent of yours to break our money?
I already tried that.
Eagle Eye waved his left bound hoof around.
It's no use. Besides,
he tossed his head girlishly and glared at the tall walls of the room.
We don't even know where we are. You gotta know who your captors are before you risk running from them.
Joshua opened his mouth to speak, gave Eagle Eye's manes a double take, then shrugged it off.
Look, it was just a shot.
But I thought you said you weren't a clever thinker.
Just lay off.
Joshua growled, shaking his hoof threateningly.
I'm stuck here the same as you.
He paced about, dragging a helpless, yelping mercenary with him.
It's those metal mirrors. I know it has to be.
He slammed his heavy hooves down, missing Eagle's flinching neck by mere inches.
Spark! What I wouldn't give to rip their horns off and shove them up there.
Ask one of these stallions.
Eagle Eye wheezed.
Maybe they can help us get what we need to know.
The heck they will.
Joshua rolled his eyes.
We're nothing but fresh meat to them.
How do you know that? Just ask.
The stallion doesn't just go around asking for directions. I wouldn't expect a broken vial of perfume to know anything about.
Oh, don't you start.
Eagle Eye snarled.
Or what? You'll giggle me to death? Just why do you desert the army to begin with? You feel that the color yellow matched your vest?
No.
Eagle Eye stood up, quivering in anger, and glared at the obese warrior.
I abandoned the forces of Leto because me and every courageous stallion I ever cared about was sick and tired of working for soulless machines who would slay innocents to get the job done. Heck, if a grunt as dense as you woke up to that, maybe you would have had the opportunity to spit into the face of that private forester's face years ago.
You think I enjoy what I did?
Joshua hollered back, staring down the petite unicorn.
I gave up my entire career to save your sorry flank, you half-pint.
Ha! Some career.
Eagle Eye sneered.
What kind of medal do you call that? You're wearing Hot Shot, the 5 o'clock bronze.
With raging telekinesis, Joshua effortlessly lifted Eagle Eye up, slamming him into the metal wall, and raised a hoof to pound his face in.
That's it. You're about to become Fransington's latest casualty. The youngest basket of fruit in history to earn an Iron Cross.
A haggard earth pony sat up beside a fitfully slumbering prisoner he was bound to.
Will you two newbies shut the heck up? This is our only time to catch some Z's before the killers put us back to work again.
Eagle Eye and Joshua blinked down from where the bigger pony was near strangling the tiny one. They exchanged glances and looked at the earth pony again.
The killers?
Suddenly, a loud hiss emanated through the chamber. Every pony instantly woke up and ritualistically stood up as the door to the room slid open. The earth pony rolled his eyes and struggled to his hooves.
Don't say I didn't warn ya.
The blinding swath of golden light swam through the room. Joshua squinted, craning his neck curiously. He dropped Eagle Eye to the floor with an unceremonious thud.
Whoa!
Eagle Eye tumbled, wincing. Through the blinding light, a dozen armored figures walked in. They stood upright, although with hunched backs. Several braying noises filled the room, like the whimpering of jackals. As every pony's gaze came into focus, the first of several glaring canine faces loomed into view.
Damn it, dogs.
Joshua murmured aloud.
Dogs?
Eagle Eye, wheezing, looked up.
They don't look like any puppies I've ever nuzzled.
Shh! Shut up, kid.
Make me.
Joshua almost growled something, but the obese stallion froze upon the approaching glare of the tallest canine. The snarling alpha male stomped towards him, wielding a heavy club that sparkled with electric energy.
New pony flesh.
The diamond dog hissed. A pair of mucousy eyes leering from beneath the metal pith helmet.
Your graying bones still good enough to haul rocks?
How about I haul your smelly carcass into a field and poop you into an anthill?
Joshua dared. With a bark, the diamond dog slammed the hilt of his club into the stallion's gut.
Ooh.
Joshua doubled over, losing his breath. Eagle Eye squeaked, grinning and slapped the floor with his hoof.
That was actually pretty great.
The same diamond dog slammed Eagle Eye in the chest.
Ah!
Eagle Eye doubled over, rolling into Joshua.
Ow, 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 ow.
You talk, you hurt.
The canine snarled, addressing the newer, more frightened souls collected in the pen.
You fight.
You scream. You work. You eat.
He slammed his club into the ground and barked even louder.
You are all property of the killers. Now and forever. When you die by my company's time.
He pointed a furious paw out into the blazing light.
Now go. Go and dig, you mangy mules.
Ah, I got it. Joshua hissed as he clambered up on all fours. He caught Eagle Eye by the tail, yanking him out of the fetal position and forcing him to trot by his side. Soon, both stallions joined a flood of ponies lurching out of the room and out into the blazing light. They squinted, finding themselves descending a metal plank that extended to a chamber built into an enormous brown tank of metal. The vehicle was easily 4 stories high and hundreds of feet long, parked on a gigantic tread as its steam engines hissed over the crest of a giant quarry. Down below a sloping crest of rock, Joshua with Eagle Eye saw a gaping pit full of hundreds of exposed, oversized sapphires. What's more, the gaping chasm was crawling with twice as many quadruped slaves, laboring endlessly with pickaxes and drills to unearth the available crystals. Patrolling the grounds were heavy-set dogs, the self-appointed killers, all carrying clubs and mana rifles trained on the sweating, suffering ponies.
Oh, well, this is just lovely.
Joshua grunted. Eagle Eye's lips quivered as he got an eyeful of the agonizing day ahead. He gasped as a growling dog shoved a hammer into his grasp. He glanced at the tool, his eyes watering a bit at the shape of it. Gulping, he calmed his nerves as best he could, and stumbled forward into the line.
Okay, I could do this. I could totally do this.
No offense, kid.
Joshua shouldered a heavy drill, utilizing his telekinesis as he wheezed and limped to the right of his unwilling cohort.
But I think your mane has a greater chance of outlasting this than you.
Oh, hardy har.
A whip cracked overhead as another alpha dog shouted,
No gabbing, only digging. Mush, mush.